In the last 10 minutes, students around the world go on climate strike. Video US. Youth rally in Washington protests climate inaction in the last 15 minutes. Youth protest climate change in worldwide school strike. Videos. Pupils across UK leave lessons to join climate change protests in the last half hour. 7 powerful photos from the youth climate strike in the last hour. Students around the world participate in global climate strike. Kids and students go on strike over climate change. Gallery. Pictures of the climate strike in London. The asymmetry of the Christchurch shootings. Students strike for climate. Across the United States, Highland pupils and students join global climate change strike action in the last 2 hours. Watch. Hundreds of pupils join climate change strike. Video. Hexham school children join global school strike for climate action. Pupils strike back. Second climate walkout. As it happened, thousands of students strike for action and against climate change. Environmentally conscious school children join climate strike. Horncastle students strike for climate change protest. 10 table shaking signs from the global climate strike. Arizona youth to rally against climate change at Capitol. Friday scenes from the student-led global climate strike. There is no planet B. Best placards from the global climate strike. More than 100 join school pupils. Environment protest in Portsmouth. Thomas Hardy students leave lessons in climate change protest. The true meaning of leadership taught by our children. Powerful images of the youth climate strike around the world. March now or swim later. Students skip class for global climate strike. Thousands of students across the march in second climate change strike. Video. Thousands of students join global climate strike. Teens across the country are walking out of school for climate change. Youth climate strike. Photos and videos from around the world. Mullinger students stage climate strike. Youth school strikes across the world are just the beginning. In the last 4 hours, op-ed kids worldwide skip school to call attention to climate change. Greta Thunberg could win Nobel at 16. Climate strikes attract 150,000 supporters. A generation gap when it comes to climate change. Across the globe, students go on strike to demand climate action. Photos. Students around the world go on strike for climate change. Swiss students join global climate strike demonstration. Students strike for climate change in over 100 countries. Video. Louth students strike in protest against climate change. Young people take to the streets around the world in the street in Switzerland. Thousands of students join climate change walkout in Paris. Pictures from the youth climate strikes worldwide. Thousands of school children strike for climate change. Finland's climate strike. Kids, we're ruining this planet. Ilhan Omar's daughter is leading the youth climate strike. Students strike over politicians. Inaction on climate change. Youth for Climate March sees hundreds of children skip school. The most powerful images from today's global student climate strike. Czech students join global strike against climate change. The climate strike movement has officially gone global. Young people in Kiev join global climate strike. Students join massive global strike against climate change. In pictures. Global climate strike. Hundreds of students skip school for Westminster climate change strike. Photos. Italian students join global school strike for climate. Students strike school for second climate change march. Hundreds of Sheffield school children strike and protest over climate change. Vegan kids join crowd of 300,000 in Australian climate strike. In the last 8 hours, students worldwide skip class to demand action on climate. Global students strike targets climate change. Students from Turkey join school strike. We have no other planet. Global climate strike. Students around the world walk out to demand change. Climate strike founder Greta Thunberg nominated for Nobel Peace Prize.